Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to processing. So today I'm going to show you the basics of processing. This is the beginner's guide. So let's go ahead and see let's go ahead and see how it works. So now this is processing, right? This software is all object oriented, or can I say either the software? This software is object oriented. So I think everybody knows what the Cartesian plane is. So this is the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the first quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. So here in processing, we're going to work here on the fourth quadrant, right? But the y values are positive, not negative, right? So by object oriented, I'm saying we can write the object in this language. We can only write the. So let me show you something. Since you are new to this software, you can go ahead now, go to help, and then go to reference. It will take you to the website, and you will learn all the references that are used inside the processor, the built-in component. So let's go back here. So let's say you want to write in code for a rectangle, right? This is for beginners, right? So here, let's go ahead and see how we write this. So this is how you write a code for rectangle, right? So the input of this rect code are going to be 4. There's 4 input. The first input is the x top left value, right? The first input is going to be the x top value, this x, right? This x, and the second input is going to be the y value of this top, right? Of this top. And then the second value, the third value, is going to be here is going to be the width of the rectangle, and the fourth value is going to be the height of the rectangle. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's say here is going to be the x value. Let me change this color back to black. Here's going to be the x value, and then here's going to be the y value, right? Here is going to be the width. I don't want to write the width because the width is the built-in object, or either say we will discuss these things in the later videos. Now I'm just showing you the basics. I don't want to confuse you. Let's say let's write it as the width, but you don't write it in the code the width. I will tell you why. I will tell you in the second video. You will see as we go on to the interactive part, right? So now we're going to say is the width, right? Let's say the width, and then this part is going to be the height, right? From top to bottom, alright. Then let's close it. So let's say our rectangle, we want it to start at let's say 10. Let's say we want it to start at 10, right? It's going to be 10, and the y we want it to start at 15, right? Let's say this is going to be 15, and the width of our rectangle, we want it to be I want it to make it big so you can see the difference between the width and the height. So the height, we're going to make it 50. Let's say 30. Let's say 30, half of that width, right? So now let's go ahead and see how we write. Like the way I've shown you here, this is how you write the code. Let's go ahead and write it in the processing, right? So here you say rect, and then we set the first x value is 10, the second y value is 15, and the width we said is going to be 60, and the height we said is 30, right? This is the height. So this is how you end the line of code. Let's go ahead and run this code. You can see the run window will come in a minute. So let's go ahead and wait for it. As you can see here, so it's almost exactly as that one that we did in the append, right? let me show you. You see, like, focus on the fourth quadrant. You see it's almost the same, right? The accuracy, because I didn't take a ruler, so you won't see the you see here, look, it's almost the same. Here, from here to here is 10, and then from here to here is 15, and then this is the width and the height. So let's go ahead and do something. I know some people can see, they say this thing is too small. How can we make that window be a little big, to make it bigger? So let me show you something. So this part of code, void, this is the built-in part of the code. This code is built in, so already build it for you. So what you have to do is write something inside. You will see you can create this part of code. This you will see when we go to objects. Right now we're still in the introduction part, you will see. So let's make that run screen a little big. So let's go ahead, we say size, and then we extend that, let's say 600 by 600, right? Depending on the program software that you use, you will decide what you use. So let's go ahead and do this right now. So now, like I said, this is the stationary part of the code. This code in the setup is not interactive, it's just there, right? You don't want it, doesn't gonna change. If you were programming a game, this part is gonna be your background and your buildings and whatever. Like, you don't want something that you don't want to move or interact in the game. So let's go ahead and let's close it. Let's just write the size in there and close it. So now I'm holding the mic with another, so you can see I'm doing mistakes there. So this part here, the void store, is where you throw your game. This is where you make your main game, right? So now, because we have this setup, we're going to let's say we want to change the color of the rect. We want something, the color that we choose inside the rect. So to fill the color that you choose in the rect, you go on ahead and say fill, and then choose a color. So if you don't know, this is your RGB colors. I think, is it RGB or what? RGB color. So if you want to choose any color, you just go, let's say red, you copy, and then you take it here, right? Take it here, and then this is gonna be your color, right? Then you close it, right? So let's go ahead and see how it's gonna look. We're gonna change it as time goes on, but let's just see how it looks for now. This is the introduction part, everybody, so we are not gonna get into some advanced stuff, but to keep you interested, to make you come back, I'm going to show you an example of an interaction that's gonna happen on the screen when you move the mouse around. So as you can see, here is your color, and then here is your 600 by 600. As you can see, you can make it 1000, you can make it fit your screen or whatever you want. It's your choice. So now let's change this and say we want this to start at 100, because you see it's too far. Then we want this to start at 150. Let's go ahead and extend this part. I think it's too small. Let's say 140, then here 140, and here let's say 100, right? 100, and say and let's make some interaction. So now I can introduce you for some interaction, and then we will do more advanced interaction in the next videos. But if you want me to do the next video, please like and subscribe to my channel. So let's go ahead and see the if statement. The if statement is like if is like I have this, but if I have this, I do this, right? Let's say in this code, let me show you something. Let me go back here. Let me say this is the code, right? This is the code. Here we want this part We want this part to be, let's say, to be orange, right? We want this to be orange. But if I have the mouse over this part, I want it to change color. You see, like you don't want it to be orange forever. You want it, like in your game, you're gonna say, Angela, like you want some character, the character, if he's shot, he need to fall. So you need a code for that. So for now, I'm going to show you a simple interaction. So let's say if your mouse is over here, you have a mouse over here, your mouse is over here, around here, only around here. But if it's not around here, nothing happens, right? But if, like, if you someone shoot a player and then the player got shot in the head, then the player die. But if he shot somewhere else, nothing happens. That's the beginners, right? This is the beginners type. So let's say you want, when the mouse is over this part, you want it to be red, right? To change color to be red, right? We want the whole thing to be red. So you can see now I have thrown a lot of stuff, but you get the idea. So let's go ahead and see that. Hope everybody understand this part. So here in this bracket, we need to write the statement that we want. This is the statement that this is what we're gonna say if this happened, do this, right? So we want this happens, we want that part. What this happened, what did, if this happened, this happened. Before we say do this, in this code we say this happened. This is the statement that we want it to be true when it happens, right? So let's say mouse X. I'm gonna tell you what mouse X is. Mouse X, let's say mouse X. If mouse X is greater than 100, right? And mouse Y is greater than 150. So now where we are, let me show you where we are. Right now we here, like mouse, we somewhere around here, right? We somewhere from here to here, right? We are around here. But the problem is the things that we're going to exclude right now is only this part. We're going to exclude this part in this part. But the problem lies here. It's not gonna happen only when this happens, right? It's not gonna happen only when this happens, right? It's going to happen also when this happens, right? This part, the bottom part of this, and this right part of this, right, is gonna also to be involved. So we don't want this. We want to cut this part out. We want only this part to be true to the code, so we can run the code that we're going to put in. So now what we need to do, this is the not. This is the not. If you did engineering, you know not gate, like don't do this, don't do it, not. In fact, it's not about engine, it's about not. So this exclamation mark is going to be our not when it's not, or not this, right? So we want to cut that part out. So we're gonna say not. Let's open end. Wait, I forgot to say end, right? Not this part. Let's put it in the bracket. Mouse X, not mouse X greater than. We don't want mount X to be greater than. So what we don't want here, we said it's. So here, remember, here we said it's, I don't remember what we said. We're gonna go back. This is Y value, and then this is width. So to get this part, the whole part here, we're going to add our X value and the width, right? Because the width here, it doesn't start at 0. So to get this X value, we need to add the X value, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say 100 plus 150 is 240, right? Right, and then end, right? and wait, and not, let's open the bracket, and not, let's say, and not mouse y is not greater than. Also do the same, we add y value with the height, right? Is 150 plus 100 is going to be 50. I did that, I chose the right value. It's very simple to add. So now this part here, in this part is where we're going to execute our code, what we want to happen when we do this, right? So now let's go ahead and say we want to fill the rect, that rect we want to fill it with, let's say we want to fill it with green. We want to fill it with green. So now let's go to green. Here is the green, right? Copy, then come here, and then paste, right? Then close that part, then go to rect. We're gonna write the same code for the rectangle that we had, 100, 150, 140, and 100. Close, and then this part of the code we need to close. Remember, this one is closing the void draw. So now we close the code. Let's run it and see what's gonna happen. So here's our code. So as you can see, when I move the mouse around the, wait, I didn't make the mouse to be visible. So when I move the mouse around there, it doesn't change, but now if I get it to the rectangle, it changes to green. You see, when I move out of it, when I move it, as you can see, this is the simple interaction that you can get. So if you want me to make the more animated game, or to make to move to the second step, to the object and to the characters, please like and subscribe. This is my first video. I'm gonna make the second video by judging on the subscribers and the likes. At least if I get 100 subscribers, new subscribers, if I get 100 new subscribers, I will be able to make the second game. I will make a second video on the basics of this series of the processing. Thank you for having me. What mouse is. So let's show you what's what. So here is our Cartesian plane, right? So we have mouse, let me say, look at this pen. You see this is your Kaiser, this pen. So at this point, this is my current point. I'm gonna move now, but look at it as my current point, right? So now when I move, this is your X part and this is your Y part, right? So my Kaiser right now is here. You see this point is your mouse X and mouse Y. At this point, when I move it here, we have a new X point and Y point. So every time you move, you have that exactly new you have a new X and new Y. So at a triangle that we drawn earlier, let me explain it. A triangle that we drawn earlier. Now I think I'm gonna change the values to make the explanation easier. Let me say we have 10 here, right? This is your X value, and your Y value is 15, right? I remember we said 150 and 100, right? And then your width is 50, right? Your width is 50, right? So what we said if X is greater than 10, which means if X is less than 10, we're not gonna include this part. So for now, let's highlight what we have. So we said if X is greater than 10, so we have this part, right? We're gonna ignore this part. And then we said and if y is greater than 15. So now we have this part, right? So now we want to exclude this whole part here, right? This part we want to include, we want only this part, right? So now we have the width be here. But problem is this rectangle doesn't start at 50, start at 10. So which means this part is going to be 60, right? So now you're gonna say not, this is not. And here we said end. So remember, this is throwing, this software is not good for writing. So end, right? And not x value must not be greater. We said mouse x must not be greater than 6. Right? So if mouse x is greater than 6, which means this part is going to be ignored now, right? So we cut it out here. When we said not greater than 60, we said x must be greater than 10, but not greater than 60, right? So we have this part. So now we have to eliminate this bottom part, right? So what we say again, we said end mouse x must not be greater than, you're gonna say here, let's say this width is 15, right? So remember, 15 is from here to here, right? The width. But remember, this rectangle doesn't start at 0, it start at 15. So you're gonna say 15, this 15 of yours is going to be your 0. So if it was 0, remember it was gonna be 0 plus 15, you're gonna get 50. Now with 15 plus 15, you're gonna get 30. It's not greater. I think I swapped the thing here. It's not greater than 30, right? So now we eliminated this part. This is how we eliminated this whole part, right? Now we have only this part right now, you see. So now check the code that I have done and then type it in your process and see if you get the same thing, and play around, change the values, move it around, and then subscribe and like, and wait to see me on the second video. We'll do the more advanced stuff. This is for